Ahoy, sailors! Today we're tackling one of the most embarrassing, expensive, and totally preventable boating disasters, running aground. Whether you're a seasoned captain or a weekend warrior, this is a nightmare you definitely want to avoid. One moment, you're enjoying a relaxing cruise, the wind in your hair, your drink in hand, and the sun shining down on you. It's the perfect day on the water. And the next, bam! Your boat lurches forward, your drink is now on your shirt, and your heart is racing. You've hit shallow water. Your entire crew is looking at you like you just failed boating 101. The mood shifts from joy to shock in an instant. But don't worry, today, I'm going to teach you how to avoid running aground, navigate safely, and keep your boating adventures smooth and enjoyable. You'll learn how to spot danger before it's too late, understand navigation markers, and use all the tools at your disposal. And if you still manage to beach your boat, how to get unstuck without needing a second mortgage for the tow fees. Let's dive in and make sure your next trip is a safe one. Alright, before we go any further, let's be clear. This guide is for entertainment purposes only. While I do my best to give you solid advice, you should never replace proper training with a YouTube video. Unless, of course, you enjoy running aground and providing free entertainment to other boaters. If you're serious about boating safely, professional training is a must. The Royal Yachting Association, RYA, provides world-class training courses in navigation, seamanship, and collision avoidance, all designed to help you become a confident and competent skipper. The best part? The RYA offers courses worldwide, whether you're in the UK, Europe, USA, Australia, Asia, or somewhere tropical. From beginners to advanced sailors, there's a course for everyone. Pro tip: if you want to be the person giving advice instead of needing it, check out RYA's training courses. Running aground isn't just a minor inconvenience, it's the maritime equivalent of stubbing your toe on a coffee table. If your coffee table weighed 10 tons and could crack open your hull, the impact can be jarring, and the damage extensive. It can ruin your propeller, damage your rudder, stress your keel, and, most importantly, obliterate your dignity. The repairs can be costly and time-consuming, because nothing invites a flotilla of smug, judgmental sailors quite like an unfortunate grounding. They'll circle around pointing and laughing, making you the center of unwanted attention. Expect passing boaters to offer advice like, "Hey, that sandbar wasn't there yesterday." Or maybe you should get a better depth finder. Ever heard of a chart? They'll question your navigation skills and make you feel like a novice. Need me to call a tow, or are you just practicing? The sarcasm can be relentless. And the worst part? Salvage fees can cost thousands. The financial hit can be as painful as the grounding itself. That's right, some salvage companies charge based on a percentage of your boat's value, which can add up quickly. Meaning you could pay as much as 10 to 20% of what your boat is worth just to be pulled off the sand. It's a hefty price for a simple mistake. That's a lot of rum money. So, next time you're out on the water, keep an eye on those charts and avoid the embarrassment and expense of running aground. So how do we avoid this expensive and embarrassing mess? Simple, don't make these classic and common mistakes. This is your first and best defense against an unplanned beach vacation, your nautical chart. It's not just a piece of paper, it's a treasure map that can save your boat and your trip. Always have it handy and know how to read it. Don't rely on eyeballing the water depth. Water can be deceiving, and what looks deep might be just a few inches. Use your depth sounder or a measuring stick to be sure. Don't assume it was deep last time. Sand shifts, folks. Tides and currents can move sandbars and create new hazards. Always check the latest conditions. And for the love of Poseidon, don't blindly follow GPS without checking the details. GPS is a great tool, but it's not infallible. Cross-reference with your nautical chart to avoid surprises. Your chart plotter doesn't care if it sends you straight onto a reef, it's just a digital map, not a brain. Always use your eyes and common sense in addition to technology. Pro tip: learn to read depth contours. The closer those lines are, the steeper the depth change, and those little asterisks, rocks. Knowing this can help you avoid dangerous areas. You don't want to meet them up close. Rocks can cause serious damage to your boat, so always be vigilant and navigate carefully. Ah yes, the good old red and green markers, the traffic lights of the sea. But unlike road signs, ignoring these can land you in waist-deep regret. Remember this: to learn more, watch our video, Decoding the Secret Language of Buoys. I'll leave a link in the description. Stay inside the channel unless you enjoy the sound of your keel dragging over sand. That green buoy, it's not a suggestion. Go outside of it and I hope you packed a shovel. Just because the water looks deep doesn't mean it actually is. If that were the case, a lot more boats would be in perfect condition. Water changes color depending on depth. Deep water, dark blue, shallow water, light blue or green. Sandbank waiting to ruin your day, murky yellowish brown. Pro tip: set a depth alarm on your sounder, that way it beeps before you become the next navigational hazard. You might have plenty of water under your keel right now, but will you still in 6 hours? If you anchor in 2 meters of water at high tide and the tide drops 1.5 meters, guess what? You're not floating home. Pro tip: always check tide tables and never assume the water level will stay the same. If you notice any of these warning signs, stop immediately. Your depth sounder is beeping angrily. Your boat suddenly slows down for no reason. The water ahead looks suspiciously light-colored, and, oh, seagulls are standing in what you thought was open water. First, do not throw the throttle ahead like you're escaping a bad date. That will only dig you in deeper. Instead, put the engine in neutral and assess the situation. Sometimes, a few gentle bursts of astern propulsion will get you off. Gently! You're not trying to launch into orbit. Move crew and gear aft to raise the bow. You might float off with just a little redistribution, like a seesaw for boats. If it's low tide, you might just need to wait it out. If it's high tide dropping, you'd better act fast, or you'll be staying for a while. Got a dinghy? Take an anchor out into deeper water and winch yourself free. This is called kedging, and while it takes effort, it saves you the humiliation of calling for a tow. So there you have it. Follow these tips and you'll stay afloat, keep your wallet intact, and avoid becoming a local legend for all the wrong reasons. If this helped, hit like and subscribe, because learning from other people's mistakes is way cheaper than making them yourself. See you next time. Super like and subscribe, or you'll be calling a towboat soon. Here is some bonus info about advanced navigation techniques. Gap 3S. Navigating the open waters requires more than just basic knowledge. Advanced techniques like using radar, understanding AIS, automatic identification system, and mastering the art of dead reckoning can make a huge difference. Radar helps you see through fog and darkness. AIS provides information about other vessels, and dead reckoning helps you navigate when GPS fails. Pro tip: always have a backup plan and know how to use traditional navigation tools like a compass and sextant. Emergency equipment to have on board. Safety should always be your top priority. Essential emergency equipment includes life jackets, flares, a first aid kit, a VHF radio, an EPIRB, emergency position indicating radio beacon, and a SART, search and rescue transponder. These tools can be lifesavers in critical situations. Pro tip: regularly check and maintain your life-saving apparatus to ensure it's in working order when you need it most. Real-life stories of grounding and lessons learned. Sometimes the best lessons come from real-life experiences. Hear from seasoned sailors who have run aground and lived to tell the tale. Learn from their mistakes and understand what they did to get out of tricky situations. These stories not only provide valuable insights but also remind us that even the best sailors can make mistakes. Make sure you know how to read nautical charts effectively. Nautical charts are your best friend on the water. Learn how to interpret symbols, understand depth contours, and identify potential hazards. Knowing how to read a chart can prevent many common mistakes that lead to grounding. Pro tip: always cross-reference your chart with real-time data from your depth sounder and GPS. Understand weather and its impact on navigation. Weather conditions can change rapidly and have a significant impact on your navigation. Learn how to read weather forecasts, understand wind patterns, and anticipate changes in sea conditions. Pro tip: always have a weather app or marine radio on board to stay updated with the latest weather information. If you're serious about boating safely, professional training is a must. The Royal Yachting Association, RYA, provides world-class training courses in navigation, seamanship, and collision avoidance, all designed to help you become a confident and competent skipper. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay safe and happy sailing.